Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for today's video tutorial where I'll be showing you how I like to make these lavender potted plants. I think they're a great Mother's Day gift or a gift for a teacher or really just for yourself if you like having potted plants inside that you don't have to water. Alright, let's get started with the materials. So I'm using worsted weight yarn in purple, green, and brown, a 4mm crochet hook, scissors and a tapestry needle, a 2-inch or other size terracotta pot, some floral wire and wire cutters or pipe cleaner. You'll need a hot glue gun and then a little bit of stuffing as well. Alright, let's get started. So we'll begin by making the flower. So starting with that purple yarn, lavender color even, we're going to chain 8 stitches. Then once we've got 8, we're going to turn and place 2 single crochet in the second chain from our hook. In the next chain, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch, and then we're going to repeat that same pattern of 2 single crochet in 1 stitch and slip stitch all the way down this chain. For this last one in the slip knot, we're going to put 2 single crochet on this side and then kind of flip around the other side and place another 2 single crochet. Then give that slip knot tail a tug to tighten, and we're going to work it in as we work up the other side of this chain. So start by slip stitching in the next chain on this side. Then carrying that tail behind you, go ahead and put 2 single crochet in the next chain. Continue that same pattern of slip stitching and putting 2 single crochet in the next stitch until we reach the end of this side of the chain. So here's my last 2 single crochet. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the first single crochet that I made on the other side of the chain. Then I'm going to slip stitch down the center of this chain that we've already crocheted around. Alright, so here's my last slip stitch. Then I'm gonna slip stitch in the bottom of the 3rd single crochet that we made to flip around the other side. Alright, so now we're ready to add the middle section of our flower. So to do that, we're gonna be working along those slip stitches that we just made. So if you sort of fold the flower in half so you can get to that spine of slip stitches a little easier, it works better. And then in the second slip stitch that we made, we're going to put 2 single crochet. Then we'll slip stitch in the next. And just like before, we're going to go back and forth between putting 2 single crochet in 1 stitch and then slip stitching in the next. Alright, so here's my last 2 single crochet. And then I'm going to close off the flower by slip stitching to that first single crochet again. Then to finish fastening off, I'm going to go ahead and cut myself a medium length tail. Doesn't need to be too terribly long because we're going to just weave it in. And then pull my last stitch through. All right, that's the flower done. Let's move on to the leaves. So with your green yarn, go ahead and tie a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 4 stitches. Then in the second chain from the hook, we'll place a single crochet again, and then slip stitch in our slip knot, and then repeat that exact same thing by chaining 4, putting 2 single crochet and a slip stitch. Then to close off our leaves, we're going to go through the front loop of the first slip stitch that we made and the back loop of the slip knot and slip both sides together. Then we'll fasten off by cutting a long tail for sewing and pulling both the long tail that we just cut and the short one left over from the slip knot. So we need both of these. We'll pull those straight through our last stitch and then tighten both tails, the long and the short. Leaves done. Last bit of crocheting that we need to do is the soil. So we're going to start by magic loop 6 single crochet, pull that tail tight to close your magic loop. Then we'll start in on round 2. So we'll increase in each stitch. So we'll place 2 single crochet in all 6 stitches all the way around. Okay, so for round 3, we're going to continue increasing by putting 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 single crochets in our next stitch. And then we'll repeat that same pattern of 1 single crochet, increase, until we reach our stitch marker. Alright, so depending on what size terracotta pot you have, we may need to adjust the size of our soil. So the pot that I'm using only measures 2 inches across. So the size that I've made, the 1 single crochet increase soil, is the perfect size. It fits right inside of the pot, which is what we want. But you may have purchased a different size or maybe have a different size pot. Maybe you bought an actual terracotta one like this one here. Fortunately, this one's also 2 inches, so this soil size should work. But this is a more common size, which is 2.5 inches in width, so you may need to go around another time, meaning 2 single crochet and then increase. Just double check the size that you have for your soil so it fits inside the pot that you have. So for me, this size is perfect for me. So I'm going to continue by working 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. If you need larger soil, you'll want to increase this round, meaning put 2 single crochet and then increase. Just keep checking the size of your soil as you go. Alright, so I'm wrapping up my 3 rounds of just regular single crochet here. And I'm ready to decrease, so I'm going to start by putting 1 single crochet and then single crocheting 2 stitches together. But remember, if you have a larger size, you'll probably need to do 2 single crochet decrease or however many increases that you did. Alright, my next round, I'm going to decrease 3 times by single crocheting 2 stitches together 3 times. So here's my second decrease and my last. And then we need to stuff this, so I'm going to pull this last loop up, put the magic loop tail inside, and then grab myself a little bit of stuffing and stuff the soil. Alright, now that I've got it stuffed, I'm going to go ahead and put my hook back in and continue decreasing in the remaining stitches. Here's my last decrease. Then I'm ready to fasten off, so I'm going to go ahead and take my stitch marker out, slip stitch to that first decrease that I made, and then cut myself a long tail because we'll need it to sew. Then pull my last stitch through, and we're ready to put in the stem. So first up, you'll need to get your floral wire and wire cutters or pipe cleaner. And I like to fold mine in half and then cut. Then I divide 1/2 of the cut that I just made into thirds. And then I only need one of these for my flower. So I'm gonna grab this one. And I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the soil. So insert the floral wire into that magic loop opening and straight through your fluff. Then we're gonna add a little crook to the end of it by bending it. And then with our hot glue gun, put a blob of hot glue in the fluff around the crook. Then tug it down and hold it in place so the hot glue helps secure it inside of our soil. Stem added. Now we can close up the bottom of our soil. So we're gonna grab the tail left over from the soil itself, thread our tapestry needle with it, then sew through each of the 6 stitches along the bottom. Pull that tight to close. Then we'll tie a surface knot and weave in and cut any excess tail. All right, ready to add the flower. So to add the flower, first we need to weave in all the tail ends. So the shorter one's already woven in, so it's really just this remaining tail that we need to weave in. So thread your needle and go ahead and just sew through a couple stitches in the back of the flower. Then cut the long and short tail. Then grab your hot glue gun and your soil with stem, and we're gonna just add a little bit of hot glue along the stem here. Oh, about halfway up and then all the way to the top. And then press that to the back of the lavender. I wait till it cools a little bit and then I use my thumb to sort of help fix it. All right, last, let's get those leaves attached. So we'll start by threading the short tail from the leaves into our tapestry needle. And then we're gonna send it straight through the magic loop opening to someplace randomly in the soil. We're just weaving this in, but it helps us anchor too. Then with our long tail, we'll thread our tapestry needle, sew through that same magic loop opening, we're going through there, to a spot somewhere in the soil, doesn't really matter where. Then go back through that same spot and up through the magic loop. And then we're gonna wedge these leaves on by sewing straight between them, and then down into that magic loop, straight down. Pull tight to cinch those leaves onto your soil. Then tie a surface knot on the bottom and weave in any excess tail. Once the tails are woven in, we can go ahead and snip the long one and the short one, and our lavender is officially done. So as you can see, these work up super quickly. They make a great gift for Mother's Day or for a teacher, and they're super cute. So as always, thanks so much for watching my tutorial. I would be absolutely delighted if you'd consider giving me a follow here on YouTube. I've got tons of things that I'd love to share with you. Thanks!